I'd like to welcome everybody to our great webinar today. And joining me, as you have already heard on the call, is the better half of the household, the one that really does all the work around the office. Terry, are you there?
Yes, I am, Art. Thanks so much.
I'm kind of pumped up today. If you guys tell, probably from listening to me, just a lot of things have been happening. It's been probably the busiest week we've had in a long time here. A lot of people excited about what's coming up in Zango. And for those of you we're at Orlando, there's a couple shots of us up there with Joe Morton and also our good friends, the Sardas 100K Premiers, Yvonne and Eva Marie with Kent Wood, and a picture of Terry and I down here with Sherman Unkefer on the stage as 500Ks. Who would have thought? My gosh, 5 years ago, when we were struggling and heavily in debt and credit cards all maxed out and wondering what we were going to do next in June of 2003, suddenly, that 13-page fax came pouring in. You get it, guys? It's almost 5 years from when that fax came in that introduced us to Zango, and it was just one of those things. The more we looked at it, the better it got. We got involved. We applied everything that we had learned that hadn't worked before to the right business model, the right company, the right product at the right time, and now we have over 30,000 members, and guess where we're headed next Sunday? Yeah, see that little picture in the corner? That's incredible. Yes, all expenses paid trip by Zango for 500K Premier to Paris, staying in a €700 a night hotel in downtown Paris. So that's an amazing change of circumstances. I believe that can happen to anyone on the phone here if you do what we did, which is what we're going to be talking about today, applying yourself. So before we get started, I've got to show you just some of the latest pictures from around our grounds here. This was actually me out doing a coaching call earlier this week on what we call deck number 5. A lot of people build great, big, huge new houses when they come into money. We live in the same house that we purchased 12 years ago, but the one thing we love to do is play out in our backyard. We put in this waterfall. I am actually doing a coaching call. You can see I have my coffee in my hand. I'm telling you, that's the way people should live. Instead of being on the freeways, sitting there talking to one of our good friends, I think Joel Leach it might have been when we were on there, from Michigan. A couple of the latest shots of the waterfall side of everything's coming out in full bloom here in Washington, and we actually got some sun this week. Wow, that was an exciting thing. And just a couple shots of the Japanese garden on the other side. Terry's magnificent creation, as I call it. Slides running a little slow on the internet. An incredible dream. Terry, who would have thought that we'd have turned that sleepy little backyard into this in 5 short years?
Well, it's truly been a dream come true for me. It was all trees before, and so for me to be able to use my creative genius and to be able to put all these plants in, and yes, we hired fellows for the rocks and for the waterfall, but I did the rest, and Art helped. And now to be able to see it in 2 years coming in full bloom, it's quite magnificent. So I truly feel blessed to have Zango in our life for me to use my creativity.
Yeah, gorgeous job here. We just love spending as much time as possible out there. Looks like our slides are really running slow on the internet today. So what are we talking about here when I title this, "A huge Zango wave is coming"? What the heck am I talking about here? Well, I'll tell you what. I just feel it from what is coming up with the 365 and the glimpse, and I'm going to explain myself here, catching the huge Zango wave. Companies always grow in waves, and this was our first wave here. All of you have been a part of our first wave, which is $1 billion in sales with a single product focus called Zango Juice, the number one supplement in the world, the fastest growing health and supplement and the fastest growing network marketing company. We have done an incredible job with this juice. And why have we done such a great job? It flat out helps people. It delivers results. It's the most incredible product on the market today, and it's a dream product if you love to help people, and it's a dream product if you're looking to build a business for yourself. There's a big, huge boom going on here. And I was listening to a CD last weekend called The Perfect Storm by Paul Zane Pilsner. And that's one of his books, The Wellness Revolution, down there. He's also written The Next Millionaire. And gosh, what is he talking about here? I'm telling you what, the perfect storm is the health and wellness revolution. But there's lots of factors in it. We're talking about the aging baby boomers, aren't we? We're talking about, and in his book, he talks about the next trillion-dollar industry will be the health and wellness industry. And in the CD, he updates that to say we've gone from already $200 million to $500 million in sales in the last 5 years, and that is expected that wellness industry to double again to $1 trillion, $500 billion, I should say, to $1 trillion in the next 5 years, by 2012. And so we're part of the wellness revolution. There's no question about that. The baby boomers are getting older. They don't like it. They're willing to do whatever they can to stay healthy. I'm telling you what, just go around to any, and when you get to be in our age, you go to some kind of a party to meet people, and man, it's incredible the number of health challenges that are out there, and people are looking for natural alternatives. So we have the wellness revolution itself, and then we have this kind of inflammation wave going on, aren't we? We're seeing more and more studies every week, every month about inflammation and how it is involved in many different disease processes, and it's well known. Medical science has accepted the fact that if you can reduce inflammation in your body, chronic inflammation, you can be healthier. And at the same time, the anti-inflammatory drugs are under all of this scrutiny for side effects, and some of them have been taken off of the market over the last few years. And so what does we have? We have a natural alternative without side effects that can help reduce inflammation in the body. So that's an incredible storm, one of the waves that creates the storm of itself. But we also have the aging baby boomers that don't have enough money, right? And they're they don't have enough to retire on, and instead of looking at the retirement years as something good, they're concerned about it, and they're looking for alternative income streams. Why do you think it is that two of the people in our downline are over retirement years and have created six-figure incomes in Zango, right? Now, on top of all of that, we've got an economy that is struggling out there, and more people than ever before are willing to look at alternative income streams. That's what I call a perfect storm, and it's an incredible. It's not like it's done. It's a continuing wave, but we're adding to that the next wave, which is dominating the wellness category. Now, we're getting questions from people. Yes, as we're bringing out 365 and Glimpse, they're saying, well, I thought we were only going to have one product and we're a single product company, and how come we're changing? You know, it's really interesting. When we went to the Elite Summit, the founders gave us this book called Pour Your Heart Into It by Howard Schultz, the founder of Starbucks. Do you realize that Starbucks originally was just a bean company, and they weren't even selling coffee? And a lot of the employees, when they decided to actually get in selling fresh coffee, were against it because they said, that's not who we are. We're just a bean company. And then you know that once they started selling fresh coffee, some guy came up with the brilliant idea of creating some sort of a frozen drink called the Frappuccino. And a lot of the people inside that company thought they were crazy because we don't do that kind of stuff. All we do is sell coffee. And you know that brand Frappuccino, when they brought it out, absolutely skyrocketed and took Starbucks into a whole other sphere of influence. So every great company, if it wants to continue to grow, must change and adapt to the marketplace. And Zango always, since the beginning, had the plan to bring out additional products. But when you have one product that is going off the charts, you hold your focus until it's time to change and move into dominating the wellness category. That's where we are today. And Terry, here's a picture of us at the Orlando Regional. Some of the shots quickly, just very quickly to show you some of the pictures there. Wasn't that an incredible event?
It was an amazing event. You know, the things that we learned the most was listening to all the people's stories. I mean, it was so fascinating. There you can see the lineup where Art is standing there in the yellow shirt, and a lot of those people there is part of our team and the Sardis team. But that lineup went all the way down. You know, there was close to 5,000 people there. It was just incredible.
Yeah, and that's at the 20K dinner over here in the corner hundreds of people at the 20K dinner. Do you realize what we're talking about here? I know there's some of you that are 20Ks that are rather disappointed. But do you know that a 20K is a solid residual income if you continue to build it and work it? Gosh, I mean, you know, the one thing that really irks me is I think people do not respect their checks and their businesses the way that they should. A $500 a month residual income is nothing to sneeze about. And having several hundred people that have reached significant $3,000, $4,000, and sometimes $5,000 and more income as 20K distributors is an incredible thing that should excite every single one of you on the call, because this means that these people have created a residual income stream. And yes, perhaps they haven't realized all of their dreams, but they're taking solid steps before them. And so now let's get into this 365 as part of our dominating the wellness category. What is this product all about? You know, one of the things that Terry and I reasons we're so pumped about it is because we've been involved in whole food nutrition for 17, 18 years. We always knew it only makes sense. What makes mankind think that it can go to a laboratory and synthetically produce vitamins, throw them into some kind of a capsule and tablet, and that's supposed to be better than getting it from food, you know? I mean, it doesn't even make any sense. The body was designed to take its nutrition from food. However, not everybody eats the kinds of foods that they should eat, and not everybody is able to eat the number of different fruits. You know, every fruit and every vegetable has different phytonutrients in it, and it isn't about huge quantities. And here's where you're going to run into some confusion. Sometimes when you're talking to people, they'll look at the label of 365 and they'll say, well, there's not that much of this in it or not that much of that in it. This is food, okay? It doesn't need to have huge mega dosages to try to get the body to accept and absorb some of it. What it needs is little bits of all kinds of different things. That's what the body uses. And we have a new website up here, Zango365.com. It's just been updated. Also, we have it on mymangosteen.com, already has its page up on 365 and the whole food benefits. Terry, I know, gosh, we're already starting to get some stories coming in on 365.
Yeah, the stories. We heard 3 last week, and they're just amazing. There's one lady that actually had a bladder problem, and she had to get up in the middle of the night 3 or 4 times because of this, and she just has done all kinds of antibiotics. You know, the antibiotics, she's getting immune to them. They're not kicking in. And after 4 days of being on this product, she realized that that night of the 4th night, she didn't have to get up to go to the bathroom, and so that's amazing. And then you've got, I've got 2 stories of men that had to get up and go to the bathroom 3 times each night. And as you know, that's not a good thing for men to do, you know, and we're trying to help the prostate. And you know, after 3 or 4 days of them being on this great new product, that they're not getting up in the middle of the night. So, you know, this product is really, truly life-changing. Remember what we're doing, just like in the juice, we're rebalancing the body. You give the body proper nutrition and give the body a proper balanced diet in with all of our fruits and vegetables and eat your proper food throughout the day, you're going to have some amazing results. I know for Art and I, we've actually noticed that we actually have more even energy. You know, we've kind of taken it up a notch with our energy. And so I think we're just going to start hearing more and more stories about this, Art.
Yeah, and one of the things that everybody's excited about is how convenient this product is. You know, I mean, you know, instead of having 4 or 5 bottles of different vitamins to open up that you got to figure out every in the morning, you got 2 packets at AM and PM. They are different. Each AM is different from the PM. And you can see that it's really easy and convenient to get this whole food nutrition in your body. And it's got minerals, and of course, but the thing is that I like about it, once again, whole food nutrition, it's the best thing for the body, and worth considering really what else is your body going to need when you add Zango to 365. Now, a couple big things coming up here. First of all, Zango.tv has a great 365 podcast. Dr. Templeman is on it. I highly recommend when you get off of here, you get on there and watch at Zango.tv. It's right on the front page, And that would be a good link to send to people. I think video is powerful these days, and so we're going to get into how you follow up and how you get the word out on 365. One of them is going to be to send this link so that people can watch this video. And then, of course, if you haven't heard already, Zango Invasion 3.0 is happening Monday, June 16th at 7 p.m. And from my understanding, they're going to show the entire Dr. Fred Templeman presentation on 365 that we saw in Orlando. It was absolutely incredible. In fact, I learned some new things about nutrition on that. So get everybody on that, June 16th, 7 p.m. They're going to highlight the whole regional event, but my understanding is Dr. Templeman is going to have extended time on there, so you won't want to miss that on Monday. And yes, a great combination, 365 and Zango juice, here's the thing that a lot of us are finding. Everybody takes vitamins, right? And they know they're supposed to take vitamins. So it isn't a question of trying to convince them to do something that they haven't already been doing. It's just a question of showing them a better way to do what they've already been doing. So we think it makes an incredible combination, don't we, Terry?
Yeah, we really do. I mean, I can actually see, for instance, a friend that I tried to get on the juice a few years ago and, just didn't feel like she wanted it or needed it. But I know she takes vitamins. So, of course, I'm going to approach her to say, hey, why don't we simplify your vitamins? Why open up 8 or 9 bottles every day and get these little packs? It's a food vitamin, which I know she's really big into nutrition. But what's going to happen is that's going to feed in. She's going to get results on these beautiful products of the vitamins, and then she's going to say, well, remember that juice you were talking to me about? And that's how she's then going to take the juice. So really both of them feed into each other. That's how I see it.
Right. Yeah, and so then they've also added, some of you heard about the added 3% bonus pool. This is a temporary new pool that goes until the end of next year for non-juice products. It's in addition to the other pool that we have, and I think this is going to be a very exciting pool. Why? Because the pool actually starts paying to 5Ks and up, and actually the 5Ks get 50% of this pool. So what are we talking about? We're talking about 3% of all of the sales of 365 throughout the entire company, and glimpse when it comes on. And then they're taking that 3% and they're dividing it into 3 sections. 50% of that pool is going to go only to 5Ks. 30% of that pool only to 20Ks. And the other 20% are going to go to premiers and up. And the only people that will be able to participate in this 5K pool will be those that are on 300 PV for the quarter. Now, here's what's happening. The latest news is that they're accumulating this pool starting with the sales of 365 in Orlando, and they're accumulating it through the month of June. But the actual bonus doesn't start till July. So you don't need to have 300 PV this month, but you will need to have it by July to get into this pool. And if you're not on 300 PV for the quarter, you won't participate in the pool. Those that are in it for the quarter, you will participate in the pool based on how many sales in your downline of 365 and then glimpse when it comes out there are. That'll be your percentage of the pool. So how well you promote these new products is going to help you get a bigger piece of the pie, and I think we'll get some really nice checks. Let's face it, only very serious, committed 5Ks are going to have 300 PV. So I don't think there's going to be huge numbers of people splitting up this pool, and this will be a nice little quarterly check that will come in if you're promoting 365 in your downline successfully. So let's talk about creating your 365 wave, okay? Because I see 3 different factors here coming up. We've already got a wave going on with the Zango juice, and that's not going to stop. But what we're going to do now is we're going to add to that with a 365 wave. And first of all, we've already said everyone takes vitamins, okay? So it's a simple, easy thing to talk to them about vitamins. Now, what's the first thing you got to do? You got to start taking them yourself, right? Very hard to promote something that you're not consuming. So I urge you to replace your vitamins. Throw all the other bottles out. I doubt that there's anything else in there that you need. If you're really hung up on another particular super kind of calcium or something, go ahead. but this basically covers all of your nutritional needs. So get on it yourself, and then start. And we're going to show you how to get the word out on it, and show you what Terry has already been doing. The fortune is in the follow-up. Guys, listen, you've got to work this if you want to make this happen. Don't expect emails, okay, where you're just throwing out emails to be effective. Emails are great for transferring information, but they don't tell the story. So, Terry, I'll tell you what, you've been stepping to the plate again, gal. Why don't you tell everybody what you've been doing, and then we're going to tell you, the ones on the phone, what they need to do the next 7 days.
Okay, well, basically, just before Art and I went to Orlando, Florida, we talked about this, and I said, I'm really feeling that as soon as we get back, I need to hit the phones. I want to phone the people and let people know that it's been released. 365 is ready. And so what I did is Art went to the Internet on Zango back office, and he pulled off all of the pages that were 1K people that were active, okay? So I've got their names, I've got where they're from, I have all the Canadians, and I have all the U.S. Yes, it's not in Canadian right now, so what I did is I highlighted all the Canadian people to phone later. So then it has their phone number, and then it has also, I wanted to know who sponsored them. That was really important to me. So what I started to do is I had all these pages, and there were many. Krista can relate to my pages. I showed her on the Internet. And I started phoning. And basically I call it the 2-minute drill, you guys. This is follow-up. And so basically what I said is I said, hi, Sally, this is Terry from Zango. This is just a quick follow-up call. I wanted you to know that the 365 has been released from Orlando, Florida. You can go to 877-469-2646, or else you can go in the Zango back office and have a look and see what it's all about. And if you have any questions, phone your upline, Mike Erskine. And that's what I basically did. And you see a lot of these people, I got machines. Okay, so I just left a quick message. That's all it was. So I told Art I would phone 50 people a day, because 50 people were on each sheet.
Right.
And so that's what I've been doing every day. And very few people did I get on the line, but the ones that I got on the line, they had either heard about it or hadn't. And I asked them, if they had any questions or whatever I could talk to them about the 365. And I went into more detail. And the thing that I was surprised with is there was a lot of people, a large number of people that knew nothing about it. Now, you guys, these are your 1K people, okay? They should have been notified. Not everybody's on email, but I really recommend and suggest that you phone your people and let them know that 365, don't rely it to email. A lot of people get bombarded with email. So I really suggest that all of you now go and pick up the phone and phone your people and let people aware that it's out, that it's available to buy. Let them know how easy it is. You don't have to open up all those 6 bottles every morning. You can just take these 2 little swatches of packages and put them in your purse or briefcase, and you're gone for the day. And the ones that I talked about, and I told them that, they were so excited. They said, this is brilliant. But the other thing that I talked about for the ones that I actually got on the phone was this is a product that is done with food, and that's way different. And as most of you know, I always work on my digestive system, and it's been very hard for me over the years with other vitamins that are synthetic. I can't digest them. So there are other people out there that really need this new product because it's so much easier to digest.
Right. Hey, great job on that, Terry. I mean, you went through that really quickly. Did you hear what she was saying, guys? 50 people per day. I mean, some of you haven't called 50 people in your whole month or year in your business, right? You were talking, of course, we have a big network, so we got lots of people to call. But what about you 5Ks out there and 20Ks and premiers and people that have large networks? Why don't you pound the phone? So we're going to do, and we got kind of this idea from Grace Dick, who has very successfully done what she calls 48-hour follow-up frenzies, where everybody just works the phone for 48 hours. And so I'm extending this to 7-day follow-up frenzy. That should be 7-day follow-up frenzy. And so that's what I'm suggesting that you do. If you've got downline of any kind, call them over the next 7 days. And, of course, now we've got Zango365.com, and so that's where I would suggest that they go to. or call me back and I'll get you more information. And you can also do, if you want to take it to another step, listen, I'm going to be emailing you a video on Dr. Templeman talking about 365. Watch for that in your email. I'm going to be sending that out shortly, and then you can send them to Zango.tv. Here's the news on 365. Watch this short video, and then call the company to order this product, okay, for the next 7 days. I wonder who's up for that. You know, I mean, you guys are business owners. Have you thought about that? I mean, I realize a lot of people don't realize, the people listening here, you are business owners. You own your own business, okay? What a wonderful thing. But do you really see it like you're owning this business? Do you really see yourself as, I'm running a business? Have you ever actually looked at your business and wondered if you're really running it professionally? You know? I mean, and I sent out an email this week, sort of a challenging email. Sometimes with the 1K Up group, you know, I challenged them a little bit. And I said, look at you guys, there's an old saying in the industry that if you'd have hired yourself to do network marketing, you would have fired yourself by now. And I'm saying, you know, why is that? You know, people will work their tail off for $10 an hour. They show up every time that they have to for work, and they get there on time, and they work hard for other people's dreams, you know, and they do things that they don't like. Gosh, I had to get up on my motorcycle and drive to work and mop floors, right? But I got there every single day. And so, yeah, there's parts of the business maybe you're not so good at, and maybe there's things that you need to improve on, but show up for work, right? This is one of the things that we do, that we have for you, are these webinars and this incredible announcement we're going to be talking about next week. This is all designed to help you build your business, but you've got to bring yourself to the table. You've got to put in the energy. You've got to put in the effort, even when it doesn't work. And you're going to have to persist through some of your challenges. You know, we all have them. So, you know, I'd like to challenge this line here, this group, to actually get on the phone and work this for 7 days. And while you're on the phone with people and you're getting people connected on 365, you know, what other questions do they have? How's your juice going? Are you taking enough? You know, make this into a follow-up frenzy. You watch your business take off. I'm telling you what, it's a lot of fun if you just get out there and do it.
And that's when you're going to start to hear the stories. And so that's what I see that's so exciting, because I know the more calls that I get and do, that I will be able to hear these great stories coming in about 365.
Yeah, so for 365, what we're talking about now is taking this message primarily out to your existing network, okay? That's what we've been talking about here. Now, you're still going to lead with your passion, in my view, okay? So when you're out talking to new people about your Zango juice is going to be your lead product. That's the one that you have results in. That's the one that you feel most passionate about, okay? So I don't think, for most of you out there, are going to be excited enough yet about the vitamins that it will be your lead product, okay? But I will tell you this, there will be people that will see this whole food nutrition that will come into your business because they like this idea and they know this makes sense, and they may lead with this whole food nutrition product. But in my view, from my experience, your passion is how you came into the business. You've got your results on Zango Juice. So when you're out there talking to people in the marketplace and you're introducing your product, you're still going to be leading, in my view, 99.9% of you with the juice, okay? But once you've talked to them about the juice, then you can show them we also have this 365. Now, I was talking to a lead this week. The guy is a sports nutritionist, and he's working with several different companies, evaluating which company he wants to get involved in. And so naturally, I was talking about the Zango juice, and wouldn't you know it, the next thing he asked is, well, do you guys have any kind of vitamins at all? He's a sports nutritionist. So he's looking for an opportunity, and he doesn't want just a juice, you know, that is a great anti-inflammatory. He also wants to bring nutrition. So now we have a bigger piece of the pie that we can take out to the marketplace. Imagine the wellness category like a big circle and segments of pies. And one of the pie segments that we're working in right now is anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and we have a wonderful beverage that can help people. But another piece of that pie is the vitamin market, people that are taking vitamins. That's a whole other piece of the health and wellness industry that so far we have not been active in. And then another piece of the pie is the personal care thing, and that's what we're going to be talking about shortly. So lead with your passion. Let's get the follow-up going. Get out there and work it and call your people. And blend, baby, blend is one of my expressions to determine that whatever you're doing and have been doing to promote your business with the Zango juice, you don't suddenly change it overnight and now start just talking vitamins to everybody. You still lead with your passion, and then you blend in the vitamins into it. Terry, anything to add there?
The only thing I want to add is what I've found the last 2 weeks is I want people to keep it simple. Don't try to complicate it. It's really easy to go out and try to recreate the wheel. It's just about sharing with people. It's about caring about them. It's about helping them. It's about changing people's lives. And I think if you always remember to come from your heart, you will always be able to help people. But as soon as you put numbers and you put the dollar sign in front that you're going to make that $30, don't do that. Don't go there. That's not fair to those people that you're trying to help, because it's not about that. It's about you caring and getting them results. So I've always felt very strongly about that, as most of you know.
Great job on that. Okay, guys, now listen, I have to tell you, now, I'm excited about what's going on in Zango, but the glimpse that is coming, we have gotten more than a glimpse of glimpse now, Terry. I'm telling you, I am so excited. I mean, I said this before a month ago. I said that for an existing company, Glimpse will be the greatest product launch in the history of this industry, but we're going to have to be a little patient. I hope some of you remember me saying that. Glimpse is a whole other category. And, Gary Hollister, Eric Welsh was telling me about a quote that he got from Gary Hollister. As you know, Gary is, he's the chairman of the board now. They changed their titles. Gary was the CEO of Merle Norman Cosmetics. You remember that? Well before Zango, 10, 15 years ago, that was his thing, right? So he knows the cosmetic industry. He helped guide it from $60 million to $250 million a year in sales. So he totally understands it, as does Beverly Hollister, who we're going to flip to the next slide on her as well. You know what Gary said? Now, this is how big this is. And I know you're going to have a certain amount of disbelief until you try this product. You're thinking Art is just hyping me on this. But I'm not. I'm telling you, I just know it. I just know it deep within my being. This is going to be an incredible product launch. Gary Hollister said, with what we're doing with our Glimpse formulation, with our soybean extraction process, this is the first new thing in skincare in over 20 years. This is the first new thing in skincare. We are not following the skincare industry into their domain. We are going in with something that's never been done before. And basically, Beverly Hollister has an incredible track record. She is just absolutely thrilled that finally she's got a skincare product that came to her while she was working with Zango in Japan. She has launched 5 major personal care brands prior to Zango. Each one of them did over $200 million a year in sales. She has a whole team involved here. Does this lady ever know what we're doing? So one of the things in Orlando is they had a spa. And this is Terry and Krista at the spa. And there's 3 basic components. Now, I'm going to get a little bit technical here on you. I understand that. But you've got to understand the power of what we're doing here. There's 3 different xanthone complexes. Okay, they're calling it X3, but they're not single xanthones. They're complexes of xanthones. And what they do is they take this pericarp and it is dried, and they ship it to Japan to this special manufacturing gentleman that has developed this soybean fermentation product that cleanly pulls out nutrients. Now, what they have to do is they put this pericarp powder that they get. This is premier, the best stuff they can find on the market. They actually soak it in water before they can begin this fermentation process. And then they work the fermentation process, but they reserve the water. And it's like a mangosteen tea. And, you know, in gardening, Terry, I mean, you have worked with manure teas, right? And it's a way of sort of activating and pulling some of the nutrients in.
Well, Art is so excited about this glimpse because his face has been glimpsed.
Yeah, that's the truth of it.
And I'll never forget Krista. If you look on the picture, my little hand is holding a little container of the glimpse, and that was Krista's glimpse that she was going to take up to her room. And I'll never forget Krista on the Sunday morning. She says, I've run out of glimpse. She says, my face isn't glimpsed. What am I going to do? And I just kind of course, laughed at her because her face was so enjoying it. I mean, I think what Art is saying is this has truly been life-changing because he can actually feel it penetrating into his skin.
Oh, my skin feels so good, you guys. I wish you could all touch it.
He says that all the time now.
But Krista was going through withdrawal, I'm telling you.
She truly was. And so for those of you that did not get to Orlando, Art's just going to show us a few slides. There was a man there that was actually had it. The lady was working with his hand on it. There's the slide now. Hopefully it's just coming up. But it's truly amazing because you can actually feel this going into your skin. And I had said to Beverly months ago, I said, you know, Beverly, we had her on a three-way call, and I said, you know, I struggle with my skin because I have very sensitive skin. I've tried everything out there in the marketplace. In other words, I've done, you know, Merle Norman's, I've done Estee Lauder, I've done Clinique, I've done all of those things out there. And I spent, as all of you women out there know, we spend hundreds of dollars on this stuff, okay? And I have gone out there and I buy the stuff, and within 2 or 3 days, my face will literally start itching. And so, like, I can't wear it at all. And so it was very refreshing to be able to get samples of this wonderful product from Beverly to be able to start it on my face to see. I was a really good guinea pig, and she knew that going into it. And I've just literally been thrilled. I have not had any rash. I have had no itchiness, and I truly can see a difference in my face. And, of course, in Art's face we really can because he tells me every day how great his face looks.
Well, it has a glow to it, okay? And so, you know, it's 500 Ks. Beverly invited us in for a glimpse experience before the event started, okay?
Called it a glimpse spa.
A glimpse spa. We went to her suite in Orlando, and this is me getting the foamy cleanser put on by a couple of beautiful blondes. This gal actually is an esthetician that worked for one of the top dermatologists. Her name is Misha. And she worked for one of the top dermatologists in the United States in his office. And so she knows her skincare. And so this is the first thing I'm getting here. And it was absolutely incredible to experience this. And then Terry got her deal done here in the spa. And you can see them working her over here in the bottom. And great picture of Beverly and Misha and Terry over here. You know, it was incredible, and just the way it feels when you put it on.
It's the way it penetrates into the skin. It's not like anything I've ever tried before, you guys. It truly isn't. It's just, I see why Beverly has said it's really clean and clear and crisp. You know, you're not going to find it's not oily. You know how sometimes you put some of those things on and they get really oily? Yeah. It literally penetrates into the skin, but your skin feels so soft and so refreshed.
Yeah, and there we are with our glimpse samples that we've been working with ever since. And I can tell you it's just phenomenal when you put it on. It has a way of causing the skin to glow. So it's anti-inflammatory support. There's even collagen-boosting ability here, antibacterial support, in 4 different products. Absolutely fantastic. Right now, they're just in the process of patenting them. So the basic formulations are mostly there. They're not quite 100%. These are not the regular packaging. These are just sample packaging. And so now they're in the process of patenting. And we're going to get pre-release of this for the premiers and up and some of the other folks that were in Orlando in about the first week of October, hopefully, about 30 days prior to convention. So listen, there's some people on the phone here that was in Orlando, and I'm just going to take a chance here and open up the lines. And for those of you, all those people that yelled about Orlando, I know you all went through the spa. Tell me just tell us, what did you think of the glimpse?
Amazing.
Like the glimpse in Orlando.
Absolutely fantastic.
Anybody like it?
Absolutely.
Too noisy out there. We've got about 400 people on the line. But no, it's a fantastic thing. So we're excited about that, the future of what's coming on here. Okay. So start making your list. Now, here's what I'm thinking, okay? And I'm going to give you some of my private thoughts. You know, I can't help myself, okay? Here's what I'm thinking. Another thing that Gary Hollister said on a call, and one of those kind of pearl moments, if you will, those epiphanies that pop in your head. He said, this product, Glimpse, is so powerful, we could launch a whole new company with this product. And I thought to myself, I know he's right. I mean, if Gary and Beverly, just think about this, guys. Just imagine with me what would happen if for some reason Gary and Beverly actually went and started their own company with Glimpse. Do you think you'd want to get involved? Do you think you'd want to sign people up? What would you be doing if this was a pre-launch company? Let's say that this company was just launching, and you've seen all the hype and excitement people get for pre-launch, and then a lot of times the hype can't live up to the substance. In other words, the product isn't any good, and so it all dies off. You know, we see that in the industry a lot, okay? If you've been in the industry, you know how much hype there can be involved in pre-launch. So I thought to myself, how can we create the same mindset, okay? Between now and October and November, what can we start doing as if this was a brand new company? What would you be doing, right? You would be sowing seeds. You'd start making your list. I'm telling you, there's a whole different group of people. As you sit down in your quiet corner, and Terry and I are going to do this, we're going to make the biggest list you have ever seen. And yes, we're going to go to our warm market. And we're gonna relaunch our business with Glimpse in the warm market. It doesn't mean we're still not going to do our Zango business, right? This is all part of it, but we're going to take that mindset of launching a whole new category, a whole new product. It's all mindset. If you could get as excited about, if you can just turn your mind around to where you saw an opportunity to get involved in a brand new company with a whole new product line. And it's about entering that other piece of the pie that we're talking with. So I encourage you this weekend to sit down and start asking yourself, who would I like to launch my Glimpse business with? And I'm talking about starting a brand new Glimpse leg, a brand new leg, just to give that new, fresh blood excitement. And start thinking about who do you know that you would like to launch your Glimpse business with? And a whole different group of people are going to come into your head. Start writing down a Glimpse list. I've got all kinds of different names of people that are coming to my mind that I never really thought about and never really contacted with Zango Juice, right? And see, these categories are going to feed each other, right? People are going to come in for Glimpse, and then they're going to find out about the juice, and they're going to get excited about the juice as well. And people are going to come in for the juice, and then you're going to be able to tell them about Glimpse, and they'll get that in, and these categories are going to feed each other. And when this Glimpse thing hits, I'm telling you what, if you have momentum going into convention, and if you can get people there into convention, and if you can start building your Glimpse business prior to convention, don't wait until it's released. I implore you, do not wait until November to start talking to people about Glimpse. I implore, if you can go into that with November, my prediction is this. For you guys that have big organizations, I've said this to Krista already, from November 2008 to 2009, your business will double and triple just from Glimpse if your business is on the move and if you're active and if you're catching the wave, okay? Smaller businesses, 1Ks and 5Ks, if you can go into the convention and have some of your people there, your business can go up 5 and 10 times when Glimpse hits. Now, why do I think it's going to be that big? First of all, it's the first new thing in skincare. You can actually feel it on your face. It's instantly demonstratable. Terry, we're talking about spa parties,
yeah,
right?
I think this is going to be really big for the women out there. I mean, you got to understand, most women, probably 99% of the women out there, when you put skincare on their face, they're like in or they're out. They know. And so there's a strong knowingness because we've tried so many different skincares. And so I think these spa parties are going to be really, really wonderful to be able to have hands-on experience of this great product.
Yeah, so we plan to come out with some pre-launch kinds of strategies that we'll be talking to our team with, and it's going to be some really exciting stuff. We're going to put major focus on in this launch, and I thought to myself, every company, I mean, the main problem that you have out there, I could tell you this right now, and I still fall into it myself, is really treating our business like a real business, to do the same things. You are the CEO of your Zango business. And so what I was thinking about, if I was the CEO of some company, right, and I was going to launch a whole new product that I thought was going to be absolutely incredible, I'd be putting major thought, resources, tools. I mean, you'd have this whole major campaign surrounding this launch that you'd be working on. And that's exactly what Zango doing, okay? Beverly is very strategically, she knows exactly how to launch this, very strategically getting the word out, letting people experience this product so that by the time it actually hits, it's going to explode. You need to follow her lead. You need to do the same thing, and hopefully we'll have some samples on this. So, yeah, I'm pumped about Glimpse because it's a whole new category. It's instantly demonstratable. It's another piece of the pie, and it's only going to do incredible things. With the Zango, the 365, and the Glimpse, we're going to be very well positioned. So start making your list, guys. Do it on the weekend. Start thinking about people. And they don't have to be all women either. What about business owners that see the potential of this? This is going to be huge. Honestly, and Dr. Templeman said about this product that he thinks it's going to be just as famous for what is not in it as what is in it. No long names of words that you can't read. No, this is clean. And Beverly is going all out to make sure there's no toxic chemicals. Your skin is one of the biggest organs in your body. Things that are put on your skin, they go inside your body. If they can deliver drugs through the skin with patches, imagine how important it is to put only high-quality ingredients on your skin that are absorbed. And I also think, and I have no thing other than intuition, I also think that there's going to be health benefits from taking these special xanthone complexes into your skin. I think there's going to be health benefits on the inside, and Beverly happens to agree with me. Okay, I got to come down a little bit here, and you can tell I'm pretty excited about that. So we got the 365 and the Glimpse coming up. It's going to be fantastic. Now, this is a picture. Now, Krista had a call last week, and here's some of the gals that were on the call. There's Krista in the middle, Deb and Carol and Yvonne. Jackie. Okay. Now, one of the exciting things about being at the event, these gals are from Windsor, Ontario. They just had their first corporate event, 75 people this week. And I wanted you to see a picture of us at the convention. One of the exciting things was hearing their stories of the kind of results that we're getting on the juice. This is an incredible product, guys. I mean, it delivers such phenomenal results. And, I think, Terry, I know you believe we just get this all complicated, right? Just get it totally complicated all the time, right?
And like I said earlier, I think this was my biggest learning in Orlando is we listened to these gals' story, and it was so phenomenal. And, they're just keeping it so simple. I mean, I think, you guys, that's what it's about. It's about telling your story and keeping it simple. And, I mean, I'm just amazed at what Deb and her team has done. Deb is 5K now. She's done an amazing job. Krista's worked really hard with her team. But it's so interesting to be able to listen to those stories and realize that that's all she was doing was sharing her story, coming from her heart, and knowing that this person, whoever they were sharing it with, they needed this juice.
Yeah, and so, the story, and I'm going to tell it, I'm not sure what all happened last Saturday's call, but I want to tell you a little story here in my own words Deb got very exciting results here on the juice, incredible health benefits. And so she decided that she was going to start turning it into a business. One of the things that totally launched their business was coming to convention last November with a few of her team members. But she started having juice parties. Actually, I think she called them juice information nights or something. And so she made her list, and she thought of Carol. Now, Carol is someone that she hadn't spoken to for 15 years, right? They had seen each other around the town, hadn't spoken to, called her up, and Deb said to her, listen, Carol, you've got to listen to me. I don't know what's going on in your life, but I've got to tell you what's been happening to me with this juice. And so she started telling him her story, and her whole plan was just to invite her out to this party. And so she came out to the party very reluctantly, thinking, I don't want to get into anything. And just to get everybody off their back, she took a bottle home. And from this bottle, she started to feel better. Deb didn't even know all of the incredible health challenges that Carol had. She had no idea what all she was going through. Incredible pain and suffering, miserable, could not do anything. I don't even want to get into it. It was so nasty. But basically her body didn't recognize its own blood. And she started feeling so much better. And then she ran out of her bottle and crashed and absolutely almost went insane. I tell you all of this because Carol finally got on the juice on April the 12th, and by the end of May had over $5,000 in volume just from sharing her story. But she also saw this as a great business opportunity and didn't just talk to people about the juice. She also targeted people that she thought could use some business help. And she has a tremendous entrepreneurial background, and so she immediately went also looking for business builders, and I believe she just turned 5K. Deb is just a couple short of 20K, as you heard last week. But they also brings up, let me show you this picture, because this was something that they talked about in Orlando. Basically, Deb threw Carol a life preserver, didn't she? And if you saw somebody struggling in the water and you were standing on the shore, wouldn't you throw them a life preserver? The life preserver could be the product. The life preserver could be the business. Now, it's not up to you to be concerned about whether they grab the life preserver or not. There's going to be people out there that say, I don't want your life preserver. I would rather struggle. And there's some people out there that honestly don't want to get healthy. But if you have something this powerful, throw that life preserver out and then let them decide. I'm telling you what drives your momentum is success on the juice. But what really makes it fly is sharing that with other people and seeing the story. So I think if your business isn't growing, sometimes you're getting away from the juice and you're not focused on it. We're running out of time, Terry. Got to talk about keeping it simple. I think we've already talked about that. Keep your business in balance. You already know what to do. You know, I don't think it's a secret out there, and it isn't necessarily about the how. Just quit. Just do it, you know. Just get out there and talk to people. And I have this expression, quit moving furniture around. Man, I see people moving the furniture around. Well, okay, I got to order my tools first, or I'm going on vacation first, or I need to renovate my office so that I can have people over. And as soon as I have my office renovated, then I'll have people over. Or I'm going to wait until my aunt gets results on the product. Quit moving the furniture around. You're running a business. You're the CEO of the business, so get into action. Okay. And get the juice out to people and then convert them to business builders. Now, how do you do that? How do you convert them to business builders? You get them on these calls. You get them out to events. You do three-way calls. You know, you've got to convert your juice people to business builders, but if you don't even call them back and help them get results, and you don't even talk to them about the business, you're never going to convert them into a business builder and teach them how to share it. And then finally, you've got to keep looking for leaders. Don't drag horses to water. You can't make them drink. Some of you just don't have the right people. You keep dragging them around. They're heavy. Let them go. Don't give up on them, but don't count on them either. If you're having trouble getting your leaders to work, either you have not exposed them to everything that they have and done the basics like three-way calls and webinars and conference calls, You just have the wrong people, or it's not the wrong time. Move on. So, huge announcement. Yes, I promised you a huge announcement that's going to make a big impact on your business. And I want to acknowledge Gary Goslin here for pulling this together. Starting next week, we're going to have, and they're calling it the Hour of Power with Dr. Ahmed Tootla, MD. Yes, every Wednesday night. I don't even have the date on here. Every Wednesday night, starting next Wednesday, you're going to get the notice on this. Dr. Tootla is going to come on and do a webinar every Wednesday night starting the 18th, okay? He's going to bring on different doctors. He's going to have different hosts on there. It's not going to be the same every week. But here's a place that you can bring your skeptical product users to. Here's a place you can bring your distributors to get locked in. Talking to Eva Marie and Yvonne last week. Dr. Tootla's been on a couple other calls last week. She said it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, here is the foremost colon cancer surgeon in the United States that is a proponent of Zango, and he's going to give up his time every Wednesday night because he believes so much in this mangosteen fruit. And he's also going to talk about the 365 as we go along because he's been involved in whole food nutrition. So that's next Wednesday night. That's a big announcement. Every Wednesday night, Gary Goslin is the coordinator. Daniela Rains, Gordon Morton Sr. is involved. Chris Peterson is helping with the logistics on the webinar and putting the logistics together for that. And it's going to be a fantastic. We're consulting on it, but Gary Goslin's the one behind it. It's going to be a fantastic call Wednesday night. And then the Three Visions, we're hooking up with Three Visions, and they're going to be doing mostly the Tuesday night calls. They're going to interview me on Tuesday night, June 17th, 6 p.m. You'll get a notice on that. So that's what's coming up. And they're going to Chris Peterson is working on some upgrades to my mangosteen. He'll be on that one on the 24th of June. So, wow. Salt Lake City in November. Listen, guys, the main thing you need to do right now is book your hotel rooms, okay? We're talking about the launch of Glimpse, November 6th to 9th. This convention could sell out, but the most important thing to do right now is book your hotel rooms so that you're not taking buses, so you're not taking cabs, or you're not taking shuttles over to the convention. These hotels are mostly very close by, within walking distance. They're going very, very quickly. The Marriott across the town there, downtown, there's another Marriott. Anyway, so get your hotel book. Hilton now wants $250 a night for the rooms that they have left. So the 102 rate is sold out. It's going to be an incredible event, and we'll see you all there. Lots of things happening with that. Terry, anything you want to add before we close out?
Well, I just think this is such a powerful time with Zango, with the company that we've got, that we're working with those founders. They're just amazing. With Beverly Hollister, with all that's going on. I mean, let's catch this wave, you guys. It's all in your hands now. Just know that we're always here to help you because we do these webinars open to everyone. So just go and speak with your heart, for that's what it's all about, helping people.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Terry. And so catch the huge Zango wave. Some of you are standing on the shore watching the waves come in, and maybe you don't have enough confidence to go out and do a little bit of swimming around. So I encourage you, to get out there and play in the water a little bit, right? You don't catch a huge wave like this without getting your feet wet. Some of you are out in the water, and you think a wave is coming, but you're only paddling every other day, or you're not paddling fast enough to catch any kind of a wave. And so in order to catch a wave, as you know, if you've watched anybody surf, you've got to go out to it, and you've got to have some courage to get away from the shore. You're going to have to get outside of your comfort zones a little bit. You're going to have to get more committed, and you're going to have to start paddling to catch that wave that is coming. And I really want you to think about building as much momentum as possible. Now, I understand that sometimes you paddle and the wave passes you by. Not every surfer catches every wave, all right? And so you may have already felt like some of these waves have passed you by, but you'll get better at what you do. If you can get more committed, more focused, you can catch this wave. I think we're at a critical time on our planet right now. We've got people that are getting older and they're sick and they're tired. We have people looking for alternative income streams. We have a financial situation where it is wise for anybody out there to have another income stream that they're working on. So respect your check and honor it. And get out there and just get on the phone and start talking to people. Open up your heart, as Terry said. Don't worry about the outcome. You know, don't worry. You are the messenger taking the message out there. It's not up for you to grab the life preserver or to force somebody to grab it, but it's up to you to throw it when appropriate. So I'd like to thank you all for coming on. We're pumped about this, as you can see, and what I'm going to suggest is that you do that 7-day frenzy. Watch your business take off from putting a little follow-up energy into it. And while you got people on the phone, if you get live ones and you talk to them about 365, you can also talk to them about Glimpse that's coming. So thank you all for coming on the line today, and Sam White for recording this. And we'll see you Tuesday night. We'll send out an email with all of the great announcements for next week. And what you need to do is get people on these calls with Dr. Tutla, right? Don't go to them alone. Don't just take advantage of all the tools that are given to you, and we'll see you in Salt Lake, if not sooner, okay? Thanks a lot, everybody. And we'll open up the lines so that we can say goodbye. Thank you.